And welcome back to another episode of JP and the Beans Talk.
You bet. The energy is terrific in the gym. My Orioles won today, and for those of you listening that care, my Hawkeyes made it to the Elite Eight, man. That hasn't happened in a very long time.
Been a very, very long time. Super long.
Yeah, just a little while. 1987 was the last time. That's a little while for those of you keeping track at home. That's a long time. So this was the first March Madness experience that I have had in a long time where one of my teams has actually done really well. It was super enjoyable. So color me a big fan of March once again.
It worked out for you.
We'll see if I feel this way next year. But this year was a blast.
Well, considering there was a lot of concern you wouldn't make it past the first round.
Good. Including my concern.
Yeah.
That was the case. That
And
was
then
truly my expectation.
You topped the runoff by beating Nebraska. That's got to feel good.
See, it feels good now, and it will forever.
Hey, remember when we beat you?
That's right. It's the gift that just keeps on giving. That was great. And that was one of those fun father moments where I knew I nailed it. I nailed it because I started watching that game with my dad on delay. So later than the actual game had started. We had prior commitments. We're like, it's all right. We'll turn our phones off after the commitments are done. We'll start watching the game late. Not a big deal. Love DVR. So we do. And because it's later, it's bedtime, right, for my boys. So I put them to bed. They go to bed. And then halftime of the game comes around, and it's close. And I go, I just need to get them up. So I go to my boys' bedroom, like, get out here. Let's just watch this together. And that made it that much sweeter as they got to watch and enjoy the comeback and eventual triumph. It was absolutely glorious. Memory
Huge.
for all time. Freaking huge. Speaking of huge, we're here and we got a huge pod episode for you.
Yes, we do.
On today's episode, we will discuss more trailers that keep dropping for us. There's a new Supergirl trailer for us to hit on. That sounded weird. I regret the phrasing immediately. For us to discuss. Gosh, if only there was a way to really just edit oneself. There's not. It's out there.
Hey, it's
new
going in.
Supergirl trailer for us to talk about with appropriate context. Harry Potter and the Philosopher's Stone also dropped the trailer. I'm very excited about that. So we'll touch on that. You don't have to say a lot. You can
I
just
totally
listen.
didn't watch it.
You can just listen.
I saw it and I forgot about it. I'm like, oh, look at this little nerd. and I was talking about the new Harry Potter.
You can talk about me too. That's fine. We have a few other news items of note that we will get to. We have we're going to do kind of a little heat check on, hey, Daredevil Born Again Season 2. Like, have you watched it? Are you enjoying it? So we'll just touch on it real quick. We will save our full recap, by the way, for when the series has concluded. So be patient. It's not one of my strengths, but I think the rest of you can do it. And we will continue our march through the MCU. We are at Avengers Age of Ultron today. And then, of course, we will wrap things up with another classic JP and the Beans Top 5. Without further ado, we're not hitting on anything other than topics. And our topic right off the top is the new Supergirl trailer. Beans,
We get the story.
save me. What did you think?
Lobo's great.
Isn't that fun?
Lobo's great. I'm excited. I kind of want a little bit more lines because I don't know if it just sounds weird in the trailer, and I just need the full like
whatever accent he's going
yes,
for. Yeah.
I just need to hear it in full.
Yep.
But the look is great.
Look is tremendous.
The bike is sick. And guess what? I thought they were going to portray him as the bad guy. He doesn't seem like that's the case anymore. It now seems like, he just is kind of there.
Yeah. 100%.
So I'll
little good cop, bad cop situation, or Supergirl, bad cop, Lobo cop.
I'm not going to say bad cop and bad cop.
Yeah, bad cop and bad cop. Bad cop, badder cop. Talk about the easiest, costume execution ever. It's like, you don't have to do anything to Jason Momoa other than paint him white and give him a couple, fake fangs. That's pretty sweet.
And he's going to just nail it because he's been wanting this forever.
Yes.
He's going to have so much fun in that role.
Incredible.
Good for him.
Yeah.
But I'm excited. That's what I wanted mainly from the trailer.
Mm-hmm. Truly.
Also, and we discussed this earlier, it's like they didn't learn from John Wick. Why do you mess with the dog? You never go after the dog.
Don't mess with the heroes. Dogs, offspring, spouses, significant others. It's actually relatively easy. Just don't poke the bear on purpose. and you'll be fine.
Especially Supergirl's dog.
Dude.
Like, that's gnarly. That's crazy.
That's a bold choice, Cotton.
She already has anger issues. Like, if it's Superman, maybe. I mean, he'll still, like, destroy you.
As it turns out.
But I feel like she's not going to hold back as much as he might still. So that's just
Right. Superman, you can safely assume, would wound rather than murder smash you. And Supergirl, it's like, that's probably the last thing you're ever doing. So, goodbye.
And I think it's interesting because, you know, usually you associate Krypto with Superman.
Yeah.
They are nailing it home that Krypto is her dog in the DCU, which it's like, oh, he's the only surviving thing from the planet that she has left. Yeah, you're an idiot, dude. What are you doing?
Dumb.
That is so dumb.
Yeah, you deserve to lose, which is, that'll happen.
Let's just hope they're not fighting on planets with red suns and we don't get to see, like...
So she's depowered the entire time?
Ugh. They won't. It doesn't look like they would.
Right.
But you know how lame that would have been, too?
I know what you mean.
Because they hinted at that at the end of Superman, where that's how she parties as she goes to these red...
planets with red suns so that she can actually get drunk.
So...
Yeah.
I'll be curious, I guess.
I think the trailer showed us a little bit of a both and, right?
Yes.
Like, obviously, she's in a place where she can be inebriated. The thing is, like, do they really need to go to a place with a red sun? You're telling me there's not some kind of alien hooch out there that can just blast a Kryptonian brain to smithereens? There's got to be.
You know her and Lobo are having shots.
There's got to be.
They're going back and forth.
Yeah. If Lobo can get sauced, Supergirl can get sauced. The trailer looks totally fun, right? Who knows what the overall substance will be? You never know when you're seeing a trailer anymore. Trailers are so dialed in. Even the movies, like the one that lives rent-free in my mind that I remember watching, this is so long ago now, good decade probably, Suicide Squad trailer, okay? The trailer looked great. It made the movie look great. And that was one of the worst movies I've ever seen.
It's tough.
And as it turns out, that most people had ever seen that went to it. That is not I've never met, and I don't think I ever will meet anybody that goes, no, you see, I liked that one, right? I have a few of those on my list where a lot of people don't like it. I'm going, no, I like it. Nobody was Suicide Squad. And that had some banger trailers. So we don't really know, of course. However, based on, I've mentioned this before, the source material that they're drawing from, I think that this story it's gonna cook. It's gonna be fun.
I agree.
Yeah, and inserting, for what it's worth, the source material has 0 Lobo in it, so that's a choice, but it's a good choice. So very, very much okay with that.
And the actual other villain, the main villain, seems like a dick. So guess what? This is gonna go well. So this is a villain I have no knowledge of whatsoever. So it'll be a new, fresh on experience for me.
Yeah, if I hadn't read anything with him, with him in it other than this particular Supergirl story, and so I think he's an original creation for the story.
Oh, fair enough.
By Tom King.
Well then.
So,
okay, I'm with you. I thought you meant for the movie. I'm like, oh well then. I'm
for the source material that the movie's based off of. So
no, that makes sense.
Yeah. What'd you think of like the music choice with the trailer? I mean, it just reeked of we're just watching Guardians of the Galaxy.
A little bit,
right?
A little bit.
Yeah.
That is the one thing I always notice. I'm like, this is definitely a James Gunn style trailer in the sense of letting the music kind of drive the trailer.
Yep.
Which, in James Gunn's way, sets the tone. Honestly, because if you think about Superman, when they bring in the electric guitar playing it, you're like, oh, this is epic. This seems more they're going for the heartfelt route and trying to relate Supergirl to the audience in a sense. So she has a lot more baggage than Clark, so it'll be interesting to see the differences between those two, especially when you are having back-to-back years with similar characters. You have to definitely do your part to set her apart,
distinguish them between each other
from Clark, and not make her female Superman. You need to make her Kara Supergirl.
Yes.
And I already am anticipating they're going to do that, and they're going to do it well. So I'm looking forward to that very much.
Yeah. No, it's a great point. And they can't, and they haven't, at least in the trailer, tried to ignore the reality that Superman exists. And as a matter of fact, because of how they have in the last several years in particular, really leaned into the reimagining of Kara's character as a just vastly different personality from Clark. Like this kind of went in phases. Like my recollection was Supergirl when she was first introduced was essentially just female doppelganger of Superman. And then it transitioned a little bit to, well, okay, we got to make her different. So it's essentially a PTSD thing where she's a little bit, could snap at any time, but she's a really like sweet person on the inside, right? This more, I would say, fully formed and fleshed out version is, no, she's seen some things. So it's not so much PTSD as it is her experiences have, just like Clark's experiences where he fell into this uniquely warm and nurturing home, her experiences weren't that, and they've shaped her, and she's chosen to respond probably not in the most positive way, right, objectively speaking, but in a understandable and relatable way, and that is what allows her character to be so accessible and I think worth this individual movie. So it's a lot of fun to see. Everything we've seen so far has been really encouraging. And this trailer did nothing to discourage any kind of optimism.
Yeah, it's cool that in the trailer too, like they bring in Corn Sweat, Superman.
Yep.
And he's kind of the grounding force for her.
Exactly.
On top of like wanting to help her get her life back on track, which that's Clark. So it's good to
helpful
see
to a fault
that they actually have a pretty decent relationship, it looks like.
Yeah.
So I'll be curious to see how they flesh that relationship out more moving forward as well.
Totally.
So,
well, and I like that we didn't get any visual of Krypton in James Gunn's Superman movie. So all of what we will see and experience with Krypton's destruction will be simply captured by this movie. Like we don't have anything else to compare it or contrast it to in this version of the DCU. So I think that gives a really fresh avenue for this movie to have some fun there. I am curious, and this isn't like totally critical to that movie, but I'm really curious if there will be any tie-in with like a Brainiac to the destruction of Krypton, or if it'll just be fairly self-contained of, no, Krypton was just always on its way out. Because there's been different iterations of that story, one of which is, our boy Brainiac had a little hand at nudging Krypton along towards the boom, sorry, right? Or Kandor, right? There's some things.
In this version, Superman's parents kind of suck.
Also correct.
Also
correct. Not the best.
They can really lean into the arrogance of Krypton in that sense, where it's just, and that's the difference for me is as having the evil, not great Superman parents instead of these beacons of hope for Clark. So
yeah, they're gonna have to do something with that, aren't they? Like they James Gunn can't just drop that little grenade and say and goodbye. That's gonna have to continue to be unwrapped.
Yeah, Bradley Cooper showing up and just pushing things along harder than
reverting
they need
into
to be.
His Wedding Crashers character. It's like, come on, Bradley.
Throwback.
Yeah, I've been liking you. What's this?
Yeah.
Heel turn.
It will be very curious how they set that up on how this iteration of Krypton blew up.
Yep.
So.
Yep. Yeah, super cool. Well, June 26th of this summer is the release date for that movie. So we still got a good, essentially 3 months to go before we get to it. But as the marketing continues to ramp up, we'll see more and more. To this point, I think they've done a nice job, though, of good buildup without revealing too much. So I think that's really the next step is just don't give too much away here in the next 3 months.
Exactly.
So very fun. Okay, next on the trailer list, hey, Harry Potter and not the American title, Sorcerer's Stone, the British title, the Philosopher's Stone. I know you're not a Harry Potter guy, but let me just tell you, whenever you want to come in, the door's open.
Why did they change the name of it for America?
It's a phenomenal question. I can only explain that it has something to do with marketing, where they said, listen, if we call it the Philosopher's Stone, no one in the U.S. is going to know what it means. But if you call it Sorcerer's Stone, it's more relatable, I guess.
Isn't the Philosopher's Stone more well known in like
It's
You know what I mean? Because
Yeah.
doesn't the Philosopher's Stone go back to like Merlin and stuff?
it's a great question.
Okay.
So who knows?
I was just curious.
It's one of those. It's truly one of those potato. Would it have actually made a difference in the
No.
book? Of course not. Like it was destined to be a banger, no matter what.
It's already going to be better.
Yeah. So here's the thing. Because I haven't taken the time to dig in until recently. I didn't realize that Harry Potter and the Sorcerer's Stone, that movie, came out all the way back in 2001. Like, it's been 25 years. That's longer, much longer than I really would have guessed off the top of the dome. So now there's two things that are true here at once. One is, do we need a remake or a reimagining? No, we don't. And I'm really glad that we're getting it because I've told you, and I still believe this format where it's each book as a mini series of somewhere between 8 to, I can't imagine they would do 12, let's just say 10, 8 to 10 episodes. That is the best possible format to tell these stories. And we've already talked about Black Snape and how that's a choice.
I'm with you now.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep. But I'll tell you what, I'm over it. Doesn't bother me. It's not, because here's the thing. His ethnicity is not a foundational part of his character.
No.
And frankly, it's not a foundational part of any of the characters. Now, if we were to get into the territory of gender swapping characters, that's where, okay, yeah, it becomes fundamentally different, but that's not the case here. It's not the case with any of the characters that they've presented. I think stylistically, it just looks freaking phenomenal. So I'm excited for it. And here's another thing that kind of pushed me over the edge. Hans freaking Zimmer is composing the score for this. Hans is my guy. Hans is a dog. Hans can do no wrong in my eyes. I mean, his filmography ranges from the Dark Knight trilogy. He did so much with Christopher Nolan. Interstellar, the F1 movie from this past summer, Pirates of the Caribbean, freaking Lion King. Come on, the guy is just a unit. He's incredible. So anything Hans is a part of, color me intrigued. So the trailer, I think, I mean, good grief, it's only April, so we've got a good 8 months and some change before Christmas Day when the first episodes for this drop. It got me stoked. And now I'm going, crap, I have to wait till December 25th. But it looks great. It looks great. So we don't have to talk a lot about it, but I just had to express a little enthusiasm and excitement because there it is.
As a big Harry Potter fan for you, I'm excited for you.
Thank you.
Because it'll be
Thank you.
You'll get to watch it with your kids this
Exactly. Right? It's like 25 years. That's an appropriate time to kind of give another generation a chance to get a access point to this story. And here's the thing. I'm not going to dunk on the movies. They're not my favorite, but I do think they were well made. I think people really enjoyed them. I just think it's incredibly difficult to impossible to condense a really just deep book into a 2-hour movie. That's a tall task. So while the movies are there and always will be there and always will be cherished by a lot of people for very good reason, I'm very excited for this reimagining in this format. So can't come soon enough, but I have to wait anyway. So on a totally non-Harry Potter note, Punisher, there's no way to segue from that. Punisher, One Last Kill is the official title of the Punisher special, and we also got the release date, May 12th.
Beautiful.
Coming up, it is the meat in the sandwich of Daredevil Born Again, unrolling right now, followed, of course, by Spider-Man Brand New Day. And then we got some Frank Castle just right in there. It is a BLT, baby. It's going to be delicious.
It's a beautiful 3-character swing.
Yes.
Because it makes you just hope and pray that Frank is the middle ground to bring Daredevil and Spider-Man together, which is something that we want really, really badly.
We're getting it.
And I hope Daredevil shows up just a little bit in Punisher. Mm-hmm. You can still focus on Punisher because let's be real. One Last Kill, really? Frank, One Last Kill? He was trying to kill a bunch of people in Spider-Man. What a misleading title. That's a dumb title.
It'd be so great if it was One Last Kill today.
Yeah. This minute. Come on.
this morning.
Frank is going to be killing people until you kill him off, and that's not happening. Right. It's like, how ridiculous of a title is that?
It's just misleading.
It's like saying that's like McDonald's saying one last Big Mac.
Yeah.
And then it's done. No more Big Macs. Are you? Yeah. Come on. I'm super pumped. I'll be curious to see I wonder if it's going to tie into the hand. Now that they've made the hand so big. And guess what? Frank can actually get away with killing the hand because they just come back to life.
I think there's a good chance that we're getting a little bit of, I think we're going to see some hand in Born Again, is my guess. And to your point, I think we'll see at least some of the hand here in One Last Kill.
Ninjas.
And we know we're getting them in Brand New Day. And why the heck not? Yeah. That's great. Who doesn't love fighting evil ninjas? That's always
exactly.
That's a safe bet.
If you're like, should I add ninjas?
Yes.
Always a yes.
Yes. It's like, should I add bacon to whatever this food is? Yes.
Yes.
Every time. Even if it's cereal. It's like, yes, that just made it better.
Exactly. You can't get worse
can't
being
get it
a
wrong.
ninja.
No, can't possibly do it. Yeah, so that's fun to get some, I think, clarity on when that is releasing. So for those of you keeping track at home, Daredevil Born Again Season 2, we're recording this on April Fool's Day, April the 1st. Ironically enough. So we had episodes 2 and 3 for Daredevil Born Again drop yesterday, March 31st, which, weird. Why not 1 and 2 and then 3, 4? But
we could talk about that for hours.
Yep. We won't get caught on that. Point is, if we continue to progress with a 1 episode per week drop, the last episode of Season 2 for Daredevil Born Again will be on May 5th. What happens 1 week later? Oh, there you go. One Last Kill. And then just a short time after that, we lean right into Spider-Man with enough time to just ramp up the marketing real hard, real heavy, real free.
You know he's showing up at the end of that. Peter is showing up at the end of that.
There we go.
Oh, beautiful.
There we go.
We're living in wonderful times.
It is. This is glorious. We've been waiting to be here, and now we're here. So speaking of Daredevil, let's just check in real quick. You've watched episode 1 so far, okay? I snuck in episode 2.
Yeah, no spoilies.
This morning. No spoilies.
No spoilies.
But how you feeling so far? Because to recap, we were saying, hey, we think we're going to get Peak Daredevil and Bullseye and Peak Kingpin. Who else from the Defenders is going to appear? So we'll stay away from spoilers, but just in general, how are you feeling about those expectations so far?
It's a great first episode. It's a great first episode. We're setting things up. I think the ending to episode 1 was phenomenal. What a great ending for episode 1.
Fantastic. Yep.
I did have to rewatch the recap just to remember where we were. And honestly, it feels like we are far away from the ending, if that makes sense.
Yes.
Like, there's a lot
that has to happen. Yeah.
Which is fine, because I think where it starts off, we're getting right back into the thick of it. There's no waiting around. So, and I mean, the opening for Daredevil,
fun.
Just, beautiful. We'll talk about it
in further
2 months.
Detail.
But it's a solid great first episode.
Yep.
I'm pumped to see the rest of it.
Yep. It's a great start. I think they've got a lot in the bag that they're going to unravel throughout or reveal to us throughout this season. So I think there's going to be plenty of in a good way moments as we progress. So far so good. If you're not into it yet, come on, get on that track. All right, without further ado, let's get into the main course. We are still rolling through the MCU, Round 2, Phase 2. Today, Avengers, Age of Ultron. Released back on May 1st, 2015. Came out, of course, after Guardians of the Galaxy. That was the most recent MCU film, which was back on August 1st of 2014, so we had some time. And came out prior to Ant-Man, which would release on July 17th of 2015. Comes into the crisp 2 hours and 21 minutes. Joss Whedon returns to direct the second Avengers film after getting all the flowers for the first Avengers movie in 2012. We have new cast members, new characters. We've got Wanda Maximoff. That's fun. We've got Pietro Maximoff, at least for a little while. That's fun. We have Ultron himself. That's a delight. We get the Vision in here. Who am I forgetting? I feel like I'm forgetting Am I forgetting a significant character? No, I think I covered it. Correct me if I'm wrong, though.
You said Quicksilver.
Quicksilver.
You said
Scarlet Witch. Ultron.
Yep.
And Vision.
Yep.
So the cast and Avengers lineup really just grows. It doesn't shrink here at all. So that's a great joy. Now let's just dabble ever so quickly, because this is one of my favorite things to do, is to look at how this movie do at the box
you're
office.
such a stats
I
guy.
am a stats guy. 2015, I tell you what a banger year for the box office. What a banger year for movies. Now, we know this didn't necessarily resolve well, but a little movie called The Force Awakens dropped in 2015.
That was the same year.
Same year.
That's that old.
Yes.
I guess I was in high school.
Yes.
Oh, that's crazy
Yes.
to think about.
Yes.
Oh,
It, all it did was make over $2 billion. Jeez.
that's a B.
$2 billion with a B.
That's Star Wars.
It's insane.
That is just Star Wars.
Yep. Just
Branding,
just
people.
Star
It's
Wars.
crazy.
Yep. Jurassic World.
Branding.
Yep. Came in at number 2. Okay. Just give me one guess. Not a trick question. What number 3 was? It is not Age of Ultron.
This is 2015.
2015. Yep.
Oh, jeez.
Yep. Just guess. I don't think you're going to get it, which is not fair for me to ask, but guess anyway.
Is Harry Potter over at this point? Is it part 7?
Good guess. I think Harry Potter had wrapped like 2014, 2013.
Oh, wow, that's terrible.
It's Furious 7 that comes in at number 3.
You know, that's
all these franchises.
I don't knock on that franchise at all.
No,
But it's
people
one of
love
those
it.
franchises where I'm like, I don't know who's watching them.
Yeah, but a lot of people are.
But clearly.
Clearly a lot of people are. And then Avengers Age of Ultron snuck in there at number 4. So great set of bangers. Number 5, incidentally, was Minions. Sure.
Jeez.
Sure.
I'm going to tell you this. In the back of my head, what year movies came out is just non-existent.
No, well,
That makes no sense to me.
I don't think there's any way. Some other great movies that came out in this year. The Martian, that was a lot of fun. Hunger Games finally wrapped up. And yes, of course, there was another Mission Impossible movie because Tom Cruise is a vampire. He'll never die. Mad Max, Fury Road, one of your least favorite movies, one of my favorite movies, came out.
I still remember going to that in theaters.
2015.
Damn you, Caleb. He's not watching this, but he knows.
It's amazing.
He knows what he did.
We already mentioned Ant-Man, Cinderella. That was actually a great remake. I love that remake. I'm a shameless big fan of the live-action Cinderella remake.
That's good for you.
That got me. Thank you.
I will still never watch
It's
a
okay.
live-action remake of an animated movie.
Okay. Have you never?
Nope.
Wow, interesting.
And I stand by it.
Okay.
And I won't.
That's very on brand of you to die on that hill, and I support you in that hill,
How-
even as I go to watch them and really enjoy them.
Literally, a coworker was talking to me about How to Train Your Dragon.
Yeah.
And she's like, oh, yeah, it's the same as the animated. I'm like, yeah, so why would I go see the live action?
Mhm.
I haven't even seen the animated, so I probably should see that at some
You
point.
haven't even seen the animated?
Yeah, I would.
Do yourself a favor.
You have to understand, though. It was a weird, like, when
I
that was
understand. No.
released.
As soon as
you
I
know
said it,
what
I'm
I
like,
mean?
well, you were too old to have watched it. You don't have any kids now, so there's not really a draw to it. So I get it. I get it.
So,
That's fine.
never got into that franchise. However, if I do, I'm going to the animated. I'm not going to go watch a live action. If they told me today, and I love this franchise, if they're like, Riley, Kung Fu Panda is going to be a live action movie. It's coming out in 2 years. No.
Yeah.
Live action Shrek, Riley, that's coming out. No, I'm not going to those movies. You have enough money. I paid for it the first time. If I want to watch it again, I'll pay for the streaming service to watch it again. I don't need that. Sorry, go ahead.
That's okay.
We got off
Good
topic.
job. No, I knew as soon as we got to Mad Max Fury Road, I'm like, oh, there's going to be a trigger here. And it was totally worth it. So the point is, a lot of movies, a lot of good movies, a lot of popular movies came out in 2015. But we're talking about Avengers Age of Ultron. Beans, let me turn it over to you.
Yeah.
What'd you think, my guy, on the rewatch here?
This is a good movie.
Right?
This is a good movie, and there's a lot of good quality scenes in this.
Mm-hmm.
We're gonna get into negative town right off the gate.
Fine,
because
let's do it.
I think I
We'll circle back to the
found-
positives.
Well, I think I found the issue with this movie.
Yep.
Okay. And at first, I remember when I watched, it's like, man, this was good, but the bummer was, they're fighting another army of robots, blah 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 blah.
Gotcha.
after rewatching Avengers 1
Mm-hmm.
and watching all this down
Mm-hmm.
up until this point,
Yes.
what I have realized, Ultron feels more like an Iron Man villain going up against the Avengers than an Avengers villain
Sure.
going at them.
Sure.
Here's why I say that. When you go and watch the first Avengers movie,
Mhm.
Loki, and this is what we praised about this movie,
Yep.
Loki gets interactions with each individual Avenger
Right.
for a good amount of screen time.
Mhm.
They all interact. Loki feels like he is a threat and has a relationship to each
Yeah.
character. Obviously, he is more of a Thor villain than an Avengers villain.
Got to start somewhere.
However, it does not feel like a Thor villain that we are getting. It feels like that is a threat to the Avengers. Yes, we are getting an army of aliens, but Loki is still here.
Yeah, it's not, hey, this is Thor's villain that the rest of the Avengers have agreed to help out with. It's a villain against all of them, for all of them, to all
And
of them.
it's not Thor's fault.
Yep. Yep.
Thor did not piss Loki off and Loki come to Earth. That's
Right.
not what happened.
Right.
In Age of Ultron, which I am totally cool with them retconning it in this, where it's Tony that creates Ultron rather than
Hank
Ant-Man,
Pym,
because it fits with Tony's arc after Avengers.
Totally.
This is what's
Totally.
happening in Iron Man 3. He's building all these armors for himself.
Mhm.
Now he's coming up with the idea of building armor for the entire Earth.
Mm-hmm.
That shows up as Ultron.
Yep.
Backfires.
Yep.
Real bad.
Immediately.
But Ultron, throughout the entire movie, hates Tony Stark more than anybody else.
Right.
He hates Tony.
Yep.
He should hate the Hulk
Mm-hmm.
almost just as much
Mhm.
because Bruce helped out a lot
Mhm.
in the creation of Ultron.
Mm-hmm.
But it goes back to Tony. That is who he is trying to get at, because Tony was trying to make Ultron to protect the Earth,
Yep.
and Ultron's messed up brain is like, oh no, we're going to get rid of the heroes because the heroes are the problem. Humanity is the issue. And so
A
when
very
you're going through...
non-original AI idea.
Correct.
Yeah.
And when you're going through this, you don't get the interactions with Ultron. Like Captain America does not have more than maybe 2 lines against Ultron.
Yep.
Now they're all are fighting together and protecting this central point at one point.
Yep.
But the only other like solid interaction Ultron gets is with Vision. It is literally Tony Stark, Iron Man,
Sure.
and Vision, and they probably coexist at 1 and 2
Yep.
together.
Yep.
So that is the one main issue I have with this movie,
No, I
is
think it's a
that
good observation.
it's more of an Iron Man villain.
Sure.
Number 2 is they really just kind of throw the Infinity Stones at you.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
They're like, Thor gets a vision, and then he comes back, he's like, oh, all the Infinity Stones, we have to, this is Vision now. And then he's
Yep.
like, oh yeah, the space, and you're like, hold on, time out. So first of all,
Yep.
Scarlet Witch messes with your brain, and you get this false vision because she's trying to make you self-destruct.
Mm-hmm.
And you're like, oh no, this is real.
Mm-hmm.
You find some weird Swiss pool. You go into said pool. And by the way, they set it up with like, are you sure you want to go into this pool? Because a lot of people die in this pool. And you're like, wait, hold on. Time out. You're telling me there's a lot of people that die in this little small pool. And then,
Ow.
And then, exactly.
Why?
And
It
then,
just leads to so many questions.
and then, mind you, we get maybe 30 seconds of him in the pool.
Yeah.
There's not a struggle. He's
Yeah.
shooting lightning off of his body.
Yeah.
But that's it. And we don't get to see the full vision.
Selvig's just watching him like a pervert.
Yeah.
Like, hey, give the man some privacy.
He's pretty much there to call 911 if Thor dies. In this
Right.
life-threatening
We need help.
pool. And it's just like, wait a minute. This is how you are introducing all of the Infinity Stones into the MCU. It just, the hand felt a little forced here
Very much so.
from the story that they wanted to tell.
Yeah.
And I am totally cool with the Mind Stone being the focus, because if you think about it, the Mind Stone has been the focus of both Avengers movies at this point.
right.
So there's a
Right.
continual thread
Yep.
throughout
Yep.
this.
Some connective tissue there.
So it's that little oof
Yep.
for me.
Yep.
That's number 2. And then number 3, and we're probably
You're
both
doing great. You're
on
doing great.
this
Yeah.
same wavelength.
Yep.
Quicksilver
Whoops.
dying.
Whoops.
What a mistake.
Wow.
They did such a great job of introducing him.
Mhm.
They did a very different job
Mhm.
because, mind you, this is the weird part in time where the X-Men
Yeah.
also share the rights with this character with the Avengers. So they want him to be a little bit different.
Mhm.
They want to use him, but they don't really want to use Quicksilver.
Yeah.
And So they lean in more towards the Scarlet Witch, and X-Men lean more into Quicksilver, which is a damn shame because these two together, and obviously we can't get it with Magneto in the MCU at this point in time.
Right.
I want that.
Yep.
I want those three together. Throw in Polaris just for fun. But they did a good job of building them. And then them turning on Ultron, also great, makes sense. But it's just... It's tough when you build up that character and you're like, oh, this guy's fun. And then just... And you're like...
Yeah.
His death isn't even impactful at that point in time. Like, Coulson's...
It just feels very wasteful.
Right. And I get having that impactful death. Coulson was that in Avengers. And you're like, okay, this is impactful enough. It brings the team together. And it's also... It's Coulson. Him dying, I hate to say it, not a big deal.
It was a weird, like, it feels uncomfortable to say it, but it was a perfect, if you're going to have a character die, he's a perfect character to die because it is impactful, but it doesn't, it's impactful in that it serves the purpose of drawing the heroes together, right? It's a catalyst type of event to cause them to unify against Loki. And it's not we were really hoping to see more of Agent Coulson. Rudely, but no, not really. He's not a critical part of the Avengers story beyond that particular story. And he had been a real, genuine representation of that connective tissue going all the way back to the first Iron Man movie.
Correct.
And so there was more buildup, maybe not in overall quantity of screen time. Be kind of interesting to do a little side by side. How much time did Phil have on the screen? How much time did Pietro have on the screen before they each met their demise? But
Coulson had more.
I would guess Coulson had more of the screen time. Either way, the development was stronger with Coulson than it was with Pietro.
Well, and also think about Quicksilver's death. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
First of all, his whole thing is he's fast. So you're telling me he couldn't just get the kid out of there?
Just keep going.
And then get Hawkeye out of there. Okay. A. B. Okay. B. And this is what actually bothers me more than him just getting missiled. Do you remember how he got shot? It's Ultron driving a plane.
Yeah. A Quinjet.
He's a flying robot. Just let him shoot with his guns.
Yeah.
Okay? Just let him shoot with his... He's not a person. He doesn't need to... fly the plane, and I get that he's trying to escape. Like that's like part of it because they're like, oh, if Ultron escapes, then he can just re-upload his consciousness somewhere else. And it's just like, but you put him in a plane.
Yeah.
So
I think that's a great summation. This movie feels like one of those movies of extremes where there's a lot to like. There's a lot that's good. Like this is almost like a one-of-one movie for me. It's almost similar to Man of Steel. That's probably the closest thing I can compare it to. Let me explain.
I'm listening. This is interesting.
In this sense, where I can watch and consciously enjoy it, right? And go, man, I'm really liking this movie. And at the same time, recognize its flaws without its flaws like detracting from my enjoyment of the movie. Does that make sense? Oh. So I'm not like, I don't have blinders on. I'm going, no, there's nothing wrong. No, there's actually plenty that's not very dialed in with this movie. The pool scene is the peak. Like, what is this nonsense? Like, it is the most... It's up there with the most, like, just half-baked, like, we have so many more questions after watching that scene than we do answers, which is unfortunate because the scene is supposed to serve a really critical functional purpose of providing answers. Instead, it just makes it more confusing. And even on rewatches, it's not like, oh, they rushed the exposition to where you as the audience member didn't have time to absorb, process, and digest it all and then understand it. It's like, no, they just didn't actually have it here. They really didn't have a fully formed understanding of what are the rules and how do we follow them. It's just this kind of got cobbled together. So that scene is exquisitely rough.
I'm glad we're on the same page.
Oh, it's every time. Honestly, it's maybe the scene in the MCU that makes me most uncomfortable because it's so frustratingly poor. Like every time it starts, I'm like, darn it. I had blacked this out of my brain.
That's the same with me.
Yeah.
I was like, well, I'm watching, I'm like, wait a minute, this is how they got presented, the whole stones? I'm like,
Oh,
and
jeez.
for some reason, my brain, I thought the scene was longer, and I'm like, oh no, it's
No.
just this short.
No, it's just that, and
Oh.
mercifully so. It's because if they had allowed it to endure any longer, it would have probably been all the more distracting. But fortunately, it goes on a little bit, and then you get this new shiny toy of Vision to appear, and you're like, oh, that's a good payoff. I'm not sure what happened. I'm not sure how we got here, but I'm glad we're here.
Can you imagine just
now.
throughout the entire movie, they're just flashing back to Thor
Yeah.
in the pool?
Yeah, right. I love your observation of Ultron being an Iron Man villain, and this being really, hey, the Avengers are coming along to help more clean up Iron Man's mess. Like, they don't have the same one-on-one or one-to-one just adversity with this character. That just hasn't happened. There are interactions, like individual fights, but not anywhere to the same extent that Loki was developed with right out of the gate in that Avengers movie. So it's certainly a drop off there. I think it's too bad as well, because one of my issues with the movie is the fact that they genuinely eliminate Ultron. It's like, that shouldn't be possible.
No.
That shouldn't be possible. Truly.
And I mean, I believe it's hinted at that they're going to bring Ultron back for the Vision Quest show.
Sure.
What I will jump on with that, because what I struggled with is Ultron should be strong enough where he doesn't need the robot army.
Right.
It's taking all of them against him.
Yep.
And also, mind you, he infused himself with vibranium, and you totally don't think about that towards the end. Yeah. And he should have been 10 times stronger after that. Yeah. And they still kind of just, after you've built up...
It was too easy.
Right. They built up the shield, Cap's shield, for so long.
Right.
And that thing don't break. It don't break.
Correct.
It's been scratched once, and then it finally broke towards the end, like twice.
Right.
So we had two issues.
It took a lot before it finally broke.
And you're telling...
So the Frisbee lasts longer than the Death Bot.
Yeah.
Really.
Yeah. But that was my hard part. Like, I'm totally cool with there being robots because you get the sick team-up moves.
Yep.
You need that.
Yeah.
I'm all for that.
Yeah.
That final fight, it should be all of them versus him.
Yep. There should be a lot of fun in that challenge of, and frankly, that's where Wanda can be your cheat code of, no, she doesn't have this physical weapon, but because of her chaos magic, she can just rip vibranium apart, right? Yeah. Vibranium's great against other physical objects, but magic, sorry. That could have been a nice, fun leveling up for her character as well.
It would have been great.
Yeah. Now, okay, good, strong, accurate notes on the negatives. Let's hit on some positives. James Spader is a phenomenal Ultron voice.
He's perfect.
He's
so good.
I never would have I just don't know James Spader well enough, so I never would have fan cast him in the role, right? But I cannot imagine any other voice now other than his. It's like, that's Ultron's voice.
His entrance as Ultron, where he's in the drones first, and he's delivering those lines.
Yes. Yep.
Horrifying.
Right. Even as this crippled, clearly about to be destroyed version of himself in a physical form.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just the no strings on me is the line that they always go back to.
Right.
And
when he attacks Jarvis right out of the gate.
Yeah.
That shouldn't be that creepy, watching one ball of imaginary data attack another.
Right.
But it's really effective. It's a great scene.
It's phenomenal. James Spader. And I think he's returning to voice Ultron in Vision Quest.
How would you not?
I will be very curious to see what they do. But I'm so glad he's back. He was a perfect casting for this.
Yeah, he's terrific. So James Spader was tremendous, and really each of the new characters, like Elizabeth Olsen as Wanda Maximoff, Aaron Taylor Johnson as Pietro, was a delight. Now, we'd already been introduced to the voice of Jarvis. We didn't know that Jarvis, this is not at all a comics thing. This is totally an MCU going rogue, and I think rogue for the better, to the point of great effectiveness here, where Jarvis gets put into the Vision recipe, so to speak, and pops out as that version of Vision. I thought all of the new characters that were introduced had great, compelling origins, and were a blast to watch on the screen. Right? That was pretty stinking sweet.
Yeah, Vision's entrance with him picking up the
Yes.
hammer and beautiful.
Yep.
Because
Yep.
that
The
literally-
silence that falls across the room.
Well, yeah, because they did such a good job at the beginning of the movie on the importance of if you're worthy of the
Yep.
of Thor's hammer.
Yep.
So they did a phenomenal job building that up. And
Another really fun scene.
right, and they pay it off in such a way where they're like, how do we trust this robot? We just had a bad robot.
Yeah.
And then he just picks that up and they're like, all right, we're good. Like it's like just a perfect way to
Yeah.
get everybody on board
Yeah.
without like having all
Yeah.
these dialogues
Right.
and interactions. And you're like,
Right.
okay, yeah.
Answered all the questions pretty quickly.
Perfect.
I guess he's
Send
in.
him out there. And Vision is just a unit.
Yeah.
He just gets it done.
Yep.
So yeah, Vision was one of those characters where you know enough of, but you're like, oh, like if
Mhm.
he's there, who cares? Vision's hyped.
Yeah.
I like Vision a lot.
Yeah. They did better with the character of Vision in the MCU than I think anyone could have ever imagined or hoped for with his character. Like just the depth that they were able to give him. The power set is a lot of fun, okay? But they actually turned him into more than just another android. Like they gave him humanity, which is not an easy thing to do for an android. So,
And eventually love interest.
and eventually a human
Because
love
that's
interest.
not weird at all.
Yeah, turns out it's weird in the comics and
It
in
doesn't
the
get better
movies.
in
It
live.
doesn't get less weird.
It doesn't get any
doesn't.
better.
It doesn't get less.
live.
No, it really doesn't. It's fun watching this movie and just seeing Elizabeth Olsen at the beginning of her character trajectory. Like she crushes it from the get-go.
She does.
And to her credit, and this is where it gets it's already, all this is already beyond me. It gets well beyond me just to appreciate like her work as an actress, to somehow each time that she comes back to that character, she's bringing something like an additional leveling up to that character. That's pretty dang cool. Pretty dang sweet.
Yeah, I wish she would have kept the accent all the way through.
Yeah.
It's a
that's
personal
right.
thing for me.
That's
she
right.
does bring it back in WandaVision. It like comes out when she gets
Yeah.
really pissed off.
Yeah.
But I would have just preferred that just stay. And that's a personal thing. It doesn't really matter. We're suckers for accents on this podcast. We are.
Totally.
So keep it.
Keep it there. Speaking of WandaVision, this is the first time that I've watched Age of Ultron since watching WandaVision. And I remember my most memorable episode from that series being the episode that pulled back the curtain on the origin for Wanda and for Pietro, where their family's home was destroyed and they were like, essentially Wanda's chaos magic was already starting to materialize even before the exposure to the Mind Stone. And what a phenomenal episode that was. And I don't wish at all that they would have forced that into this movie. I think it would have been ill-fitting, but it was fun to have that, just that payoff of like from almost a decade apart. This was where the MCU was doing such a great job with character development, was they were able to pay off in that WandaVision show what they had started all the way back in 2015. That was pretty freaking sweet. Pretty stinking
Agreed.
cool. Yep. What were some other highlights for you?
I mean, the whole opening sequence
Is a treat.
entirely, yes,
Mhm.
with them raiding the
Yep.
camp to get the...
Taking down the Hydra bases.
Yes, that's great.
And a good continuation from when we last saw any of these characters of Winter Soldier.
Yes.
Right? Taking down Hydra.
So them going up against Strucker was cool because Strucker's a Captain America villain.
Yep.
So that was fun. I think the celebration afterwards is loads of fun.
Yep.
And it just, you get the
Oh, it's a War
nice-
Machine story. Well, it's very good then.
Well, that, and like, they do such a very good job of like getting the character interactions
Yeah.
where they're themselves,
Yeah.
but like
Right.
not in combat.
Yeah.
Right? Do I think it's weird that they started shipping Bruce and Natasha? Maybe a little.
Right.
Felt
Right.
like an odd pairing
Yeah.
after Cap and Black Widow and Winter Soldier were
That
flirting.
felt a lot more organic there, didn't it?
Yeah. Well, and
Yeah.
Cap even says too, he's like, yeah, she's flirts. And then Bruce's like,
You see it
okay,
up
good
close.
to know. And then He goes, wait a minute. What do you mean up close? And it's just like, so just to see all that. But even with like Captain America towards the end of this movie too, just changing what he wanted his trajectory to be, where he just goes full into his work, kind of like Tony.
Ironic.
But those are great. Just the build of Ultron throughout this entire movie was great. Just watching him and his motives grow. Yeah. And like with his interaction with Claw, and he just cuts Claw's arm off. You're like, oh, okay. All right. Don't mess with that guy. But they even do a good job of setting up Black Panther in the future.
True.
Right? Without
Wakanda drop.
Yeah, and it's like they should have just introduced Black Panther in this. They should have. They could have. Yep. But having that little nod where like, okay, we are going to get to Wakanda here at some point. We have to wait till the third Captain America movie to do it.
Tease.
But they did a great job of setting up the vibranium and setting up the danger of Wakanda. Like, Claw got branded as a thief. He has to live with that.
No
mark.
joke. Yeah, that's not coming off.
And Claw, by the way, Andy Serkis,
sneaky fun,
phenomenal. He's so good. His little interrogation scene with Quicksilver and Wanda. He's like, "You guys have clearly never done this before.
You're not very good at this."
And just watch Ultron just rip him out and throw him.
Yep.
So he was a great sneaky pick.
Yeah, very much so.
I did. Ultron was probably just. He's an underrated villain in the MCU, and I think it's just because the payoff was not great.
It should have, the way that I wish his arc in this story would have resolved is that rather than being destroyed, it was he's contained. And he's contained for now. Yeah. Right? Like not in his physical form, but they have found a way, Bruce and Tony are going, okay, we've got him contained for now. We're going to have to continue to, like essentially a software version, right, of Ultron. Like we've got him contained for now. We're going to have to keep working to make sure he stays contained because he's going to continue to adapt and try and get around our guardrails, our defenses. That would have allowed the story to resolve while maintaining some really healthy and helpful tension that this villain should bring. Because that's part of why Ultron is so formidable, is that it's not, you just got to take down his physical form. He's essentially a ghost. He's essentially this ethereal spirit that just you can keep at bay at best, but you can't ever totally eradicate. That is part of his menace in the comics and why he is such a formidable villain. And I think they unfortunately lost that. Can they bring him back at some point? Yes. And will they? Sure they will. But they should have been explicit with, no, he's not eradicated. He's not destroyed. And to your point, they should have let him just be as freaking tough as he should have been.
Well, and I think that's it, right? They build him up to be this force, and they kind of just eliminate him. But they lowball him too, because in the comics, like he's kind of like Marvel's Doomsday. Where the sense of once you kill him one way, you can't kill him that way again. Nope. You now have to come up with a new way to kill him. He is not an easy one-off kill.
Right.
And they just kind of, it's so weird how they built him up so well, and then they
couldn't quite figure out how to pay it off, could they?
No, like they just took away the plot armor, I guess.
Yeah.
And so, but, so.
Totally agree.
I love Iron Man's interactions with everyone in these movies. Just in general, like Iron Man will always be just a beautiful like part of it. And just to see him go down the path that he continued to go down. And rightfully justify in the end of like an end game where he's like, I told you this is exactly what was gonna happen. And also, watching Captain America just tear a log in two.
Never gets old.
No.
Never gets old.
But then watching Tony walk away and be like, okay,
don't
take
touch
any from my pile. Just fantastic.
And that's a great note because for all of its foibles and there's extreme positives. Like I said earlier, there's some extreme what is happenings. The movie does do a really solid job from start to finish of continuing to develop each of the Avengers characters that we've already been introduced to. So that is still a noteworthy accomplishment to call attention to. It still does that very, very well. None of these characters end this story in the same place as when they began it. And that's the mark of a good story. Imperfect, yes, but still a really good story.
And what I will say that this movie did better job of than the first Avengers is Hawkeye.
Yes.
And actually establishing his role in the Avengers. Because in the first one, he's a bad guy for way too long.
Yep.
Against his will, of course.
Yep.
And then he comes back for like the last scene.
Last end fight. Yep.
Yes.
Now he's on the good guy side again.
Which is great. But he has that conversation with his wife, and he's pretty much just like, yeah, I don't know what I'm doing here. You know? He's like, I shoot arrows. Yeah. That's all I do. And she's like, I don't think you understand like how important you are. You are the grounding force for these guys. Because these guys don't have that human person around them to keep them grounded and keep them thinking about that.
Yeah.
And watching him interact with Quicksilver and Scarlet Witch, his scene with Scarlet Witch where he's like, you have two options. You can stay in here, hide, and that is completely okay. You are doing what you think is best for you. Or you can walk out here, but if you walk out here, you're an Avenger. Yeah. We gotta wreck some robots.
Quality parenting there.
And then he's like, I'm gonna go. So to have him interact with those two is just like, you know who would have really been a lot cooler than Natasha to help build out the Avengers roster? It would have been Hawkeye. I would have loved to see Cap and Hawkeye and Black Widow build that new roster up because he's just or have him lead the Young Avengers or something. But he was just a phenomenal mentor role in this too. So they did a great job with Hawkeye.
Great point.
This might be the best Hawkeye we get.
Totally. Yeah.
Out of everything we've seen with Clint.
Well, it's peak Hawkeye, right?
Yes.
Because I think what they do with his character in Endgame is so impactful, but it's not it's just a different version of Hawkeye at that point. This is peak, pure Hawkeye at his best. So I love that.
Yeah.
Couldn't say that better myself. That's great. Well, on that note, let's get into this episode's top 5. Today's top 5 topic is the top 5 most disappointing deaths in the MCU. And you're going to have Quicksilver on here. So without further ado, Beans, you go first.
Okay, this one's going to be a pull.
Okay.
It's going to be a complete pull.
Let's hear it.
But it was such a bummer when this character died. It ruined the entire show. I have Cottonmouth at number 5 from Luke Cage. Yeah. If you remember watching Luke Cage, Cottonmouth was a phenomenal villain. He was up there. He wasn't quite Kingpin level, but he was up there with the Purple Man for Jessica Jones, who was another phenomenal villain.
Right. And Mahershala Ali was playing Cottonmouth, right?
And it's Mahershala Ali, who is a phenomenal character, or a phenomenal actor, who is going to be playing Blade, hopefully, cross our fingers, at some point in time.
Someday!
Mahershala Ali crushes this. Yep. And then for whatever reason, they're like, you know what would be a really cool plot twist? Let's just kill him halfway through and make his sister the villain for the rest of it. Because politician villains are going real good right now. It's like, why?
Woof.
Why? The interactions were so good. He was a phenomenal villain, and you just offed him. I can't even remember exactly how. I think his sister betrayed him. I can't really remember. But I just remember how good he was, and I remember how much after his death it took me out of the show. Yep. Because at that point, I'm like, I no longer care.
The show is genuinely, it's a great pull on your part. The show is genuinely worse. And that's the turning point. As soon as his character is gone, it creates a void that just does not get filled.
And it didn't recover in season 2 either.
No.
If you watch just the episodes of Luke Cage with Cottonmouth in them,
it's so promising. It's so promising.
It's so good. It's worthwhile television.
Yes.
It's just insane how that one death just ruins the entire thing.
You know, and what I remember about watching that for the first time was the shock, of course, but there was a pattern developing in the Netflix Marvel shows, and that, I don't know if it was the last time it happened, but it was Yeah, because I don't remember the chronology specifically, but they did the same thing in the Defenders. They did the same thing, I think, in Daredevil season 2. There's another example that's escaping my mind, but it was just this, guys, you've done this before. Like, you're trying to fool us, and we're not fooled, and now you've fooled yourselves because you just subtracted the best villain you had in this show. Because with those other instances, Defenders, for example, and I forget the character's name, it was played by Sigourney Weaver. They kill her, and it's Elektra's back. Okay, so they instantly replaced who was being presented as the villain with a leveling up of the villain. So it worked, even if it was kind of silly.
Well, sometimes it was the twist for the sake of a twist.
Yes, but it was a good twist. This was just a twist.
For the sake of a twist.
We just went downhill there. Tough.
Yeah.
It's a great pull.
That's my number 5.
That is a great pull. I can't top that with my number 5. What pressure. Wow. For me, my number 5, this is a little fresh, a little fresher. Foggy Nelson. That was really disappointing for me when he got killed. I'm still, frankly, bothered by that. It's like, you didn't need to kill Foggy. You could have had Daredevil not like Bullseye without Foggy getting killed. Okay? And Foggy is just like one of the core, for me, just core Daredevil characters. Like, you don't kill Foggy. And I know Karen Page has been killed in the comics, but I'll call BS on that one too. It's like, you didn't need to do that either. We already know, like, it doesn't make Bullseye worse. Bullseye sucks already. He's already
Bullseye sucks.
He's already a bad guy. It just felt so like such a disservice to the character. Like, it just, and again, subtracted something from Matt Murdock's universe that really didn't get, in my opinion, adequately replaced. So, although it did create a great opportunity for some phenomenal dialogue between Matt and Frank. So, okay, a little bit of redemption there. But still, bring Foggy back, you cowards. My number 4 is Scarlet Witch. Will she come back? Probably.
I forgot she died.
Right? Right? But, like, her heel turn, I didn't care for it. I just didn't. And I know there's comic precedents for it. Fine. I still didn't enjoy it. I still didn't like how she spent the entire Doctor Strange movie in the Multiverse of Madness as the villain. I can understand for part of it, but then, like, come on, circle back. This is not our Wanda. This is not the Wanda we want to see, like evil Wanda all the time. So when the movie essentially ended with Wanda dying, I was underwhelmed. That was a disappointing conclusion to that character arc for me.
They wasted no time making her the villain either.
Right.
Like, that's a build. You build to that. And they did not build to it.
And they would say, well, we built through it in WandaVision. Like, you didn't build villain Wanda into WandaVision.
Not to that extent.
Conflicted Wanda? Yes.
But
so there should have been some tug, some push, and some pull. Instead, it was just, whoop, no, we're killing everybody.
Yeah, possessed with the dark.
Yep.
Just like, oh, okay.
Yeah. I didn't care for that.
Fair.
That's my number 4. Your number 4, sir.
My number 4 is Ironmonger.
Yeah.
And it's because it's Jeff Bridges.
Yes.
And also, how phenomenal of a villain he is, arguably one of the best MCU villains of all time.
Mm-hmm.
I want to see that interaction with him and Tony more.
Totally.
I do, because they have the perfect father-son dynamic without being father and son. It's the perfect dynamic between those two.
Right.
And it's such a shame that he goes out and stays out.
Mm-hmm.
I would have loved for him to come back.
Yep.
Imagine if he was helping Hammer out in Iron Man 2 or Whiplash.
Yeah.
And they were all working together. Like, there's just so many better opportunities for him to stay put rather than just take him off the board. So I have Ironmonger at number 4.
That's good. Number 4. Love it.
My number 3, I have Crossbones, who gets done absolutely dirty in Captain America Civil War.
Yep.
Listen.
Mm-hmm.
They did such a great job of building this character up in Winter Soldier.
Yep.
To where I'm like, I would love to see him actually go toe-to-toe with Captain America. Mm-hmm. They go out of their way to show you, hey, we pulled him from the wreckage and we're putting him back together, and he is scarred, and he's probably going to be pissed.
Yep.
Probably. Just to have him in the first 10 minutes of Captain America Civil War, and he just blows himself up.
Not fair.
Fun fact, I had a video game I played on my phone called Marvel Strike Force. Do you want to know what Crossbones' finishing move was?
Blowing himself up.
Blowing himself up. This man shot and killed Captain America
Yeah.
in the comics.
Yeah.
And his final move is blowing himself up. Do you know how nuts that is of a turn? Crossbones is awesome. You
It's not
don't
good.
have
No.
that many good Captain America villains.
Yeah.
He is
Keep
one
him
of the
around.
better ones. And you did him so dirty.
Yep.
Put him with Zemo. Give Zemo another guy.
There's so many better things to do than to kill him. So many better things to do.
Insane. That's my number 3.
I love it. My number 3 are the Warriors 3.
Yeah.
Okay? They get done dirty here. You got Volstagg the Voluminous, Hogun the Grim, and Fandral the Dashing. You don't hardly get any of them in the Thor movies. And really, if I wanted to get carried away, there is a scroll's worth of Thor characters that get done dirty, both heroes and the villains. I chose
so many.
So many. I chose to highlight the Warriors 3 because they all, in their own way, draw out other elements of Thor, the character, have their own well-worth backstories and ways in which they can and should have driven just the story of Thor's movies along. But instead, we barely get them. When we get them, they're just really there for comedic effect, and then they're killed by Hela real quick. That, for me, was done dirty. I was disappointed with that representation and ultimate demise, so the Warriors 3 are my number 3.
It is crazy. They just turned them into fodder for
Truly.
Hela to build her up.
Truly.
Crazy.
It's extremely disappointing. My number 2 is Quicksilver. Now, you brought up a great point during our Age of Ultron recap, which is at the stage of this Marvel movie, the X-Men rights were still in the hands of Fox. As a matter of fact, Fox released Days of Future Past in 2014 and then Age of Apocalypse in 2016. You know what? Each of those movies had kick-ass Quicksilver scenes.
Oh, they're so good.
They're really good.
So good.
They're really good. Truly peak, and this is not hyperbolic at all, best fast, any character whose primary attribute is speed, best scene with any character that is their primary attribute. The Flash has never had a live action TV show or film representation that is that good as either 2014 or 2016 Quicksilver in either of those movies. And then what we're going to do here in the MCU, we're going to introduce him, and then he's going to run in front of bullets. I was led to believe that he could, go so fast that he could move them around, that he could probably move the characters around to other spaces. No, we're just going to have him stand in front of the bullets and be dead.
Yeah. So my number 2 is also Quicksilver.
Yeah.
So just to jump
do it.
into
Just do
this
it.
conversation. Yes.
Right?
100%. X-Men did
So
well.
good.
Well,
So good.
it's so super speed. I
Yeah.
feel like is such a hard
Yes.
concept to show,
Probably
whether
the
it's
hardest.
live action
Yeah.
or
Yeah.
even an animated
Yeah.
fight where you're trying to keep up with it. On paper, it
any
works
form.
okay.
Any
It's
form.
just
Even in the comics, it's real challenging.
yeah, it
Yeah.
can be. And
Yeah.
for them to just be like, okay, instead of us just making it look like he's going super fast, we're going to slow everything else down and
Right.
let him go at normal pace
Right.
so you can see
Right.
what's happening.
Yeah.
With this version of Quicksilver, I feel like they dial his power way back in
Yep.
the MCU compared to the X-Men. X-Men, they dial him up.
Yep.
Obviously, he's not Flash level speed. Flash is insane, okay? But for the mutant side of it,
Yep.
he shouldn't be getting shot by bullets.
Nope.
He should be able to get everybody out of the way.
Yep.
I mean,
Yep.
did you see what Quicksilver did in X-Men where he just cleared out the entire X-Mansion before it blew up?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Such a bummer.
I know. That's the Apocalypse scene, Days of Future Past, when he's moving all the plastic bullets out of the way and just rearranging the whole room. And what's wild to me is they even teased a little bit of that in this movie, right? In the initial, when they allow Quicksilver and Scarlet Witch to fight in the scene where Scarlet Witch messes with Bruce Banner's mind, and then we see the Hulk and the Iron Man fight, you get a little bit of that with Quicksilver, where he's moving and everything else is really
Grabbing
slow and
the
really
hammer.
still. Yeah, right? But they just didn't truly lean into it, which I thought was a huge
Looking
bummer.
back now, it almost feels like a shot at Fox.
Interesting.
You know what I mean?
Sure.
Where it's like,
Sure.
we don't need this guy.
Yeah.
You think we're going to give you
Yeah.
more views
Yeah.
on your stuff?
Yeah.
He's dead.
Yeah.
Because Aaron Taylor Johnson phenomenal actor as well. So it's a bummer.
It is a bummer. You're number one, sir.
My number one, and I'm going to tell you, this list was hard.
Okay.
And I think this is also based on circumstance with what happened. I have Killmonger at 1 because I am actually on board with him getting the Bucky Barnes treatment here.
Sure.
Because was he actually that bad of a guy? Not fully. Now, it's not all on him. Like, Wakanda did his family dirty. Yeah. I'm not saying
bad
he
guy,
was in
yes,
the right.
but not irredeemable as he was presented in that movie. Because I remember thinking when he initially takes the hit, ultimately the fatal hit, that, okay, he's not going to die. Like, he and T'Challa are going to eventually team up here. Oh, nope. Oh, he's dead. Because I thought there was redeemable qualities about him.
And T'Challa would have been the guy to do it.
Yep.
Like, seeing those two go from mortal enemies to, like, side by side would have been a great growth dynamic for the two of them.
Truly.
And, you know, when you get him showing up to see Shuri in Wakanda Forever, you're like, oh, he's back, baby. But Michael B. Jordan is also phenomenal. I prefer him way more as Killmonger than Human Torch. And I haven't even seen that movie. But Killmonger was fantastic. Stole the show. One of the better MCU villains. And it's just such a bummer. I think he could have naturally taken that Black Panther spot with Chadwick passing away, unfortunately. And again, that's hindsight in that sense. But man, he had so much potential for that. And I would have been okay. Because we talk about like Star Wars and not wanting to see Ben Solo become the hero again. You're like, oh, great. This is one of those times where I've been like, we need kind of the anti-hero badass involved here.
I agree. It was disappointing and it felt wasteful as well. And in hindsight, it still feels that way. For me, my number one is Ultron. Like, there's a lot of villains that this was just in the middle of a stretch of the MCU just disposing of villains left and right. And I already said so much about this during the recap, but this should be, out of all of the MCU villains, the least killable. Like, there should have been zero even hint of finality here. There should have been a obvious, hey, we can't kill it. We can't eradicate it. The best we can do is contain it. And that menace is always there in the background. So for the MCU to just so quickly dispose of it. And it also just felt like Bush League when they're calling the movie Age of Ultron. And it's like a weekend of Ultron. It's so short-lived. It's like, that's not right. He is so formidable. It's that for me, while I enjoy the movie, while I enjoy the character, is what elevates his demise in the MCU to the number one spot for me. So there's a lot to choose from here, though.
Oh, for sure.
It's actually a tough top 5.
Honorable mentions I had. Warriors 3, you brought that up. I put in Claw just because that was another fun villain that they just kind of tossed aside.
Right.
Kang.
Yes.
I didn't put him on here because of other circumstances.
Yep.
I thought another group that got really done dirty in the movies was the Black Order.
Same.
Like, that was almost my 5.
Yep.
But I just remember how much Cottonmouth's death took me out. But the
That's
Black Order just turned into, like, fodder. So those were my honorable mentions just to throw in there as options. But it is a hard list.
It is. There's a lot of deaths to choose from, and it's kind of hard to winnow down.
Correct.
Yeah, no doubt about it. Beans, anything else for the good people?
That is it on my end.
Man, thank you so much for listening, everybody. We appreciate y'all.
And on that note, Godspeed.
Peace.